Hey, Andre, we've got some breaking news. Jeep just unveiled their 2025 Easter Jeep concepts, and these are both Gladiators and Wranglers. And this is one of my favorite times of the year because I love these things that the creative minds at Jeep come up with.
Yeah, exactly. And it also helps us, fire up our imaginations. If you own a Jeep or you aspire to own one, this is some cool stuff.
And Tommy and I will be going to drive these next week. But
well, where am I going? Why can't I go?
I don't know where you're going.
I'm going to New York City for the auto show.
You're always in New York. We're always in Moab. But without any further ado, let's hit it. And let's start with the first of 7. And we're going to do this in non-typical TFL order. We're going to do it in our favorite to our least favorite. So our favorite is the J6 Honcho.
Exactly, which is basically a conversion from a Wrangler into a two-door little pickup truck. And actually, Jeep used to sell a kit. So this has some history. So what Jeep sometimes does in these concepts is they bring out stuff they used to have with slightly different, takes on it, maybe different color schemes. But sometimes they just also put out brand new vehicles as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, the J6 conversion kit from Wrangler to pickup was super popular before the Gladiator came along, but it's cool to see a two-door pickup truck. And I got to say, this has some really good throwback vibes. I mean, look at the color scheme. Look at the fact that, it's got those old school wheels on it with, what size those tires are?
Yeah, these are 37s.
Okay.
So also what Jeep does is because they have the Mopar division, Jeep Performance Parts, right? So a lot of the parts you see on some of these concepts, or most of them, are actually things you can buy. Some things you cannot buy, but at least here, this is running a 2-inch lift kit, which is basically a Mopar Jeep Performance part, also 17-inch wheels and 37s. Those tires are 37-inch tall tires.
Yeah, I mean, look, back in the day, Andre, I remember hearing this fact, and I believe it's true, that the closest competitor to a Wrangler was a boat.
What?
Yeah, a boat. That was what people cross-shopped it with. And you can see that this is definitely in the spirit of those old days where people would buy Jeeps because they were just fun weekend convertibles. And this is, well, it makes me smile.
Exactly. And there's no two-door Gladiator anyways. So all Gladiators are 4-door. So if you want something fun, this is the J6 Honcho.
All right, let's go to the next one, which is the Convoy.
Oh, yes. And this makes me, make manly noises. Yes. Because this is a Gladiator underneath, but it's something really cool.
It's got that new Kaiser vibe. You remember when they did the new Kaiser concept? So this looks like, of course, a very military truck. I love the front end of it, which gives you that kind of classic Jeep military front end. I also love the fact that it's got that canvas door, canvas top, right? This feels like something that, you could strap a machine gun to or take on a safari in Africa.
Exactly, and it kind of harkens back, so we have a little video of this too. Like you said, old J-Series Kaiser type military vehicles. Also Vince Galante here, he's the head of Jeep exterior design, and usually the designer is really involved in a lot of these concepts. Dude, I love that front end. It kind of leans forward, right? You've got aftermarket lights in the bumpers and in the grille, and it's got a 12,000-pound winch. And look at those tires.
What are those, 40s?
40s.
Yeah.
Yes, 40s is the new 37.
It's true. And dare I say, you can kind of get a peek of that, I'm going to call it snorkel.
Yes.
Do you have snorkel envy? Because that's actually bigger than your Tundra snorkel, it looks like.
Well, yes, I do have a little bit of snorkel envy. But a lot of the parts you could potentially buy. Obviously not this grill. This grill is very customized for this concept. The bumpers you could buy. And also Vince is talking about kind of the motivation for this concept. It was like a military plane, especially when you look on the inside. And I love the canvas, dude. The canvas doors and the canvas top is really amazing.
Yeah, the white and the black wheels. And black wheels are out right now, but I think they work with this. And the brown canvas just gives it kind of that military, multi-purpose, utilitarian look. I think they did a great job with this, and I can't wait to drive it. Whoa, look at the interior, dude. I don't know what to say.
Okay, I can explain. Well, so Vince actually explained this in this little clip. He says they looked at the interior of some military planes, and there's high contrast because if you want to focus on a particular gauge,
It looks like a primer.
It looks almost turquoise. I mean, it's like this kind of a neon color for the lower portions.
Yeah, I'm not sure I love that. I love the brown seats, but I'm not sure I love the turquoise.
And the brown seats are like, military bomber jacket, right?
Yeah.
Just really, really cool. And if you keep rolling this clip, Cole, there's also a little bit of a view of the bed. So basically, this is a Jeep Gladiator underneath. So it's a mid-size truck, but it's one of the bigger mid-size trucks. So it's way longer than the Tacoma.
Yeah.
The bed is also turquoise.
That is bold, Andre. What's the thing in the middle there?
I think it's a storage, just a trunk.
Giant
storage box.
Freezer fridge combo. So you could.
Well, I don't know. You'll go to Moab. Maybe you can open it.
Well, knowing Jeep, there might be some weaponry hidden back there.
Or maybe a blender.
Yes, they did.
Remember Mark Allen with what did you do?
Yeah. But that looked like a weapons case to me. You guys will have to come back next week when me and Tommy actually take this thing for a drive. Well, let's keep going. The next one is the Bugout.
Yeah, and actually this is maybe Convoy is maybe my favorite, but the Bugout is also very, very cool because the Bugout, we'll get some pictures. There it is. It's based on a Wrangler, but they did a custom, not a J6 type rear section,
right,
but a custom Wrangler section, which actually extends the bed a little bit behind the rear wheels.
I can see a charging port there below the A-pillar, so it must be a 4xe underneath.
Exactly. A lot of these concepts are actually based on the 4xe. But the Gladiator, we haven't seen a 4xe yet. So I'm wondering if that's still coming in a Gladiator form.
Yeah, here's the thing that I've noticed it's happening more and more. So when we reported on these vehicles, like when the 4xe first came out, there's a lot of people who were excited to have a plug-in hybrid, right? But then, like with many kind of these really cool cars, everybody who wanted one has one. Same thing with the Corvette. I'm seeing the same thing with the Bronco Raptor. Some dealers are now offering $10,000 discounts on them.
And they're kind of bunching up on dealership lots.
Yeah,
right?
I kind of feel like everybody who wanted one of the 4xes has one, and now they're just sitting there. So let's go back to this concept. I do like the hood scoop. That's pretty cool. There's your little, is it water or gas? I don't know, one of those.
Well, it has an electricity symbol. So it's like a can for electricity.
Oh, so that was
it's a little hint.
So it's an electricity can, is what you're saying.
Electrons.
Okay.
It holds electrons.
So it's a battery.
Yes. But dude, he's talking about also this vehicle being used for overlanding, so you have a lot of space on the inside and the back. It's only a 2-seater, this Bugout concept, but you have a large extended open space in the back.
Now, some of you might be wondering, why is there a scooter in the back? That's so
it's electric.
That's so you can, after you've bugged out, you can bug out from the Bugout.
You can go further?
Yeah, you can go. Looks like an off-road scooter even there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I want to see you on one of these, Roman, in Moab, okay?
So it's a double bug out.
Exactly.
And a lot of you are wondering, we've been covering these Jeep concepts now for 15 years. Do they ever get built? And the answer is there's some aspects of them that eventually become
accessories.
Yeah. Certainly Mopar parts. But, some of the coolest ones I've seen have never gotten built. All right, shall we keep going? The next one on our list is the Sunchaser.
Sunchaser is another very cool one. And it's basically showcasing some other Mopar parts, especially those lights on the leading edge of that windshield, which you and I saw at SEMA, actually.
Yeah, they did a really clever thing with those little LEDs at the top of the 8 frame, and let's see if we can get the video of how those work, because the issue is here we go.
Yeah, there's Mark Trossel, actually. He's a Ram and Mopar designer.
So he's going to show how those work. Look at that.
So they kind of rotates out, and you could point it down or up, and it lights up many different areas.
Yeah, so normally when you're driving, it lights up what's ahead of you, but because they rotate out beyond the car, you can use them to light up what's next to you, or you can use them when you're camping.
Exactly.
You need to see,
I don't know, your cooler, your chairs, whatever
Snakes.
you have. Snakes around you.
Yeah, exactly.
hopefully you don't see too many snakes.
Well, if you go to Moab, you'll see snakes for sure.
Exactly.
I like the color combo. I'm a big fan of yellow. Is there anything else that's unique on this thing that we should talk about? Didn't we see this in person in SEMA?
We saw the lights,
but not
we
this.
saw the lights, but not
go.
this exact. I like the storage solution.
Yeah, Mark's showing us something interesting.
Yeah, the storage solution with Molly panel and those bags and nets. I think it's a kind of a clever way or a different way. And that's what I love about Jeeps. It's like Legos, right? You can plug in different components in every different section of the vehicle. And they also, on the bumper, you see in the front there.
That's a Mopar bumper.
Yeah, but they have a little cage over the winch.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a really another addition to this Jeep, and Cole is going to show us this front bumper area right there. So it's kind of a unique take. Obviously, it's based on a bumper you can buy, but then a little bit of a cage on top of that.
Once again, we're back to black wheels, which actually work with yellow, so I can't complain about that. All right, shall we go to the next one?
The Honcho High Top.
High Top. Let's do the Honcho High Top. What a great name.
Yes.
So we have a J6 Honcho, and we have the Honcho High Top. So let's not confuse them, but they are very similar. In their kind of 70s color palette, maybe, in the sticker patterns. I like the white Steelies.
Yeah, this is amazing wheel and tire package. It's also rolling on 40s. And it kind of makes the whole Gladiator come to life because the long wheelbase, right? As soon as you put it on a bigger tire, it really comes to life, in my opinion. I think they had a very similar concept in a different color scheme in the previous year.
This may be a reused one.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, it's
they're concepts.
Really nice. They're concepts.
Everybody's cost cutting.
Yes, but I think it's a very unique kind of old school throwback, like you said. And it also shows very heavy duty axles. So the axles on this puppy are, let me double check. Dana 60s.
This has like a little bit of like old Ford Bronco vibes to it to me. A little bit of maybe old Toyota vibes as well. But you're right. I mean, I do love the fact that it's got those kind of what'd you call those? The race bars on the back of the bed, that you
kind of like a Baja style cage.
Yeah,
in
Baja
the back
style
there.
cage. It's missing. I think it's missing a spare tire back there. It would look cooler with a spare tire.
Yeah, it's hard to bring a 40-inch tall spare, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit underneath the truck. It's hard to put it in the bed. But the axles are re-geared. So
you could put it on the hood like Land Rover used to do, and then you'd have to have a camera because you couldn't see forward because it'd be so tall and
so you have to see through it.
Exactly. But it would look cool, Andre, wouldn't it? All right, should we go to the next one? Because this is more of a sticker package than anything, I'm guessing. Oh, look at that. Now, that is definitely old school. This is the rewind concept.
I think, Roman, it's for you and I for back in middle school and high school.
This is some bold color choices, Andre. Some mighty bold. So when I was in the 80s, right, when I used to go skiing, I had this very similar color combination of ski jacket. Yes.
Was it the onesie?
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't onesie. It was just, but like it was like this purple with bright yellow and bright red when like neon colors were in, right? Oh my gosh, we are really getting some 80s vibes there, Andre.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the Walkman in the middle of the console there. Isn't that cool? And the phone. Is that a phone?
Well, I think it's supposed to be a radio, but it harkens back to
no, dude, that's a phone.
It's a phone.
That is a phone and a Walkman.
Does this take you back, Roman? Back to high school?
I'll tell you a story. When those car phones first came out,
yes,
I wanted one so badly, but they were very expensive. Well, you
like Mercedes.
Yeah.
Mercedes cars used to have them, right?
Yeah, but you can get them installed, right? You didn't have to. And everybody back then wanted a car phone because it was like a status symbol.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you could just carry it around. And my parents had a restaurant.
Okay.
And we lost our phone service at the restaurant. There was a fire at like a local switching station. And so I cooked up a cunning plan, which actually worked, which was to convince my parents that because we needed to order like meat every day and produce,
you had to have a backup phone.
Well, ours didn't work.
Okay.
So I got them to buy me a car phone, so that we could.
Which car did you put it in?
Oh, that's another story. I had a Porsche 944S.
Wow.
Yeah, I
And
know.
you put a phone into it.
I put a phone into it.
Wow.
And the reason I really wanted the phone was because I liked this waitress who worked for us, and I wanted to ask her out. And I wanted to do it on the car phone. I know.
Wow.
It's so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. I didn't think this was going to turn into a Roman Confesses segment, so I apologize, guys. But those colors, once again, are crazy.
Crazy 80s.
Yeah, how about those wheels?
The wheels are also pretty crazy,
Yeah.
and it's rolling on 37s. This is actually a version of an AEV wheel. AEV, American Expedition Vehicles, they make packages for Jeeps and have been doing it for decades. So this is kind of another take on an AEV style wheel and some other options that you could add to your Jeep.
All right, and the last one is the Blueprint.
Blueprint. And look at this color combo.
Oh my gosh. Holy cannoli.
It's
a
blue.
Blueprint. Yes, it is indeed a Blueprint.
So something interesting about this Jeep,
It's a 4x as well.
it's also 4xe, but every part in blue you can buy. So Cole, if you have any zoom in, if you can zoom in like on a bumper, on tube doors, you see little QR codes there. So if you basically put your phone anywhere around this Jeep, you could scan the code and you can actually see how much this part costs. You can actually buy it for yourself. You can add it to your Jeep.
Now, for all of you guys who haven't been to Moab for Easter Jeep Safari, you might be wondering, how is this useful? And the reason it's useful is because, and this includes you, Andre, because you're always at the New York Auto Show, which happens on the same week. The way this is useful is once the journalists get the concepts, Jeep usually rents out the parking lot in front of Walker Drugs, which is his drugstore on the main strip in Moab. And they do a big demonstration of the concepts, and people can take Jeeps for rides. And so I'm guessing if you're there and you like the part, you can just use your
And you
phone.
can order it right there.
You can exactly. So that's why I think you've got those QR codes, because there is this kind of big.
It's a community.
Demonstration area where Jeep gives folks rides and has these concepts so that if you're in Moab, you can see them up close.
Yeah, and it kind of promotes community. I mean, that's kind of one of these years I really want to go there.
Yeah, we should switch.
Do you want to go to New York next year?
Next year, I'll go to New
Okay.
York. You go to
Okay.
Easter Jeep Safari. And this year, unfortunately, Nathan won't be with us. It'll just be me and Tommy.
Oh, bummer.
Because Nathan's also on a program.
Yeah, there's a lot going on actually
There's
at the exact same time.
There's a lot going on that week, yeah. So stay tuned next week if you want to see us drive these things, because me and Tommy will get our hands on them, and I can't wait for that. My favorite week of the year is coming up. Once again, Easter Jeep Safari. And as always, Andre, where should they go for more TFL videos?
And Roman Confessions.
Oh, God, no.
Go to oldtfl.com.
We should probably edit that out. All right, we'll see you next time. Ciao.